Most of the turquoise being sold in America right now, in gift shops, on websites, at tourist markets, has been chemically altered, pressure treated, and in some cases is barely turquoise at all. And here's the part that should stop you cold. It's completely legal. No disclosure required. The seller can call it turquoise, price it like turquoise, and walk away with your money. The stone sitting in that silver setting might have started as low-grade chalk rock that would have crumbled in your hand before a factory in China got hold of it. Before you spend another dollar on turquoise jewelry, you need to understand exactly what you're buying. Because once you know, you'll never look at a turquoise display case the same way again. By the end of this video, you are going to know the difference between natural turquoise, stabilized turquoise, and treated turquoise. What those words actually mean, how each type is made, and what they're honestly worth. You're going to know how to spot the difference just by looking. And you're going to understand why natural turquoise from mines like Sleeping Beauty, Kingman, and Bisbee commands prices that might surprise you. This isn't about scaring you away from turquoise. It's about making you a smarter buyer, a more informed collector, and someone who truly appreciates what a genuine natural stone represents. The people who really know turquoise, the miners, the Navajo and Zuni silversmiths, the serious collectors, they all know this. Now you will too. Let's start at the very beginning because turquoise is not just a pretty blue rock. It is a phosphate mineral formed over millions of years when copper-rich groundwater seeps through fractured rock and reacts with aluminum and phosphorus. That chemical reaction, deep underground, produces veins and nodules of turquoise. And the color, the hardness, the pattern of matrix lines running through it, all of that depends on the exact chemistry of that specific place on Earth. A stone from the Sleeping Beauty mine in Globe, Arizona has a completely different character than one from the Kingman mine, or the Lander Blue mine in Nevada, or the Cerrillos Hills outside Santa Fe, New Mexico, where turquoise has been mined for over 1,000 years by the Pueblo peoples. The Cerrillos Hills may be the oldest turquoise mining district in North America. Archaeologists have found evidence of mining there dating back to at least 900 AD. Ancient trade networks carried that turquoise as far as the Aztec Empire. This stone has deep roots. Here is the problem. Truly hard, vivid, gem-quality natural turquoise, the kind that comes out of the ground ready to cut and polish without any treatment, makes up only a tiny fraction of what gets mined. Some estimates say less than 3% of all turquoise mined globally is genuinely gem-quality natural material. 3%. The rest is too soft, too pale, too porous, or too fragile to be used in jewelry without some kind of intervention. And that is where the story gets complicated. Stabilization is the most common treatment you will encounter, and it is important to understand that in the turquoise world, stabilization is considered an accepted and legitimate process, as long as it is disclosed. Here is how it works. Low-grade turquoise that is too porous or soft to cut is placed into a vacuum chamber. All the air is pulled out. Then colorless epoxy resin or a similar polymer is forced deep into the stone under pressure, filling every microscopic pore. The stone comes out harder, more durable, and able to take a high polish. The color might be slightly enhanced by the process, but no dye is added. A good stabilized stone from a quality mine like Kingman in Arizona, which has been producing turquoise since the 1880s and is one of the most prolific mines in the world, can still be genuinely beautiful, genuinely from that mine, and genuinely Kingman turquoise. It is just not natural. The distinction matters enormously in pricing. A natural Kingman stone might sell for 10 times the price of a stabilized Kingman stone of similar appearance. A natural Lander Blue, which comes from a small deposit in Lander County, Nevada that was essentially mined out decades ago, is one of the rarest and most valuable turquoises on Earth. A natural Lander Blue cabochon can sell for hundreds of dollars per carat. Its stabilized counterpart, a fraction of that. The stone looks similar to an untrained eye. The value is completely different. And that gap is exactly what dishonest sellers exploit. Now we move into territory where things get genuinely troubling because beyond stabilization, there is a whole spectrum of turquoise treatments that most buyers have absolutely no idea exist. Enhanced turquoise has had dye added, often a blue or green colorant injected alongside the resin during stabilization. The underlying stone might be pale, washed-out material that would never sell on its own. The dye makes it look vivid and rich. This color is not permanent. Over time, with exposure to skin oils, sunlight, and cleaning chemicals, dyed turquoise can fade, shift color, or even turn greenish in ways that natural turquoise simply does not. Then there is what the industry calls reconstituted turquoise, which is not really turquoise in the traditional sense at all. Turquoise powder and chips, often just the dust and scraps left over from cutting, are mixed with epoxy and pressed into solid blocks that can then be cut and polished. It contains turquoise material technically, but it has been completely reconstructed from fragments. And at the far end of the spectrum, you have simulants, howlite dyed to look like turquoise, magnesite dyed to look like turquoise, and yes, actual plastic and resin blocks with no turquoise content whatsoever. All of this gets sold. Some of it ends up set in silver, some of it gets stamped with a hallmark and sold as Southwestern jewelry at highway gift shops from Flagstaff to Albuquerque. Navajo and Zuni silversmiths, artists who have been working with genuine turquoise in their silverwork since the late 1800s, who treat specific stones as sacred, who build their artistic identities around authentic materials. Those artists are competing in a marketplace flooded with fake and treated material that undercuts everything they represent. So, how do you tell the difference? Let's talk about what you can actually observe, because there are real clues once you know what to look for. Natural high-grade turquoise has a certain depth to it. The color is not uniform. There is variation, slight shifts in tone, and the matrix pattern of the host rock running through it has an organic quality that looks grown, not manufactured. If you look at stabilized turquoise versus natural turquoise under magnification, the surface of a stabilized stone often has a slightly plastic quality to the luster. Natural turquoise has a waxy to subvitreous luster that looks different, more alive somehow. Dyed turquoise will sometimes show color concentration along cracks and surface features where the dye pooled. The matrix lines in dyed material often look darker and more uniform than in natural stones. Price is also a real signal. If someone is selling what they claim is natural Bisbee turquoise, from the famous Lavender Pit copper mine in Bisbee, Arizona, which closed its turquoise production decades ago, making genuine Bisbee stones increasingly rare, and the price seems too good to be true, it almost certainly is. Bisbee is known for its deep blue color with chocolate brown matrix. Genuine natural Bisbee is a collector's stone. It is not cheap. The single most important protection you have as a buyer is asking direct questions and getting straight answers. Ask whether the stone is natural, stabilized, enhanced, or simulated. Ask which mine it came from. A seller who knows their material and stands behind it will answer those questions immediately and confidently. Someone hedging, changing the subject, or telling you it's just the way turquoise is, that's a signal. At Turquoise Traders Direct, every stone we sell comes with that information because we believe you deserve to know exactly what you are getting. That is not just good business. That is respect for the stone, for the culture it comes from, and for you. So here is what you now know that most turquoise buyers never learn. Natural turquoise is rare, maybe 3% of what is mined, and it commands prices that reflect that rarity. Stabilized turquoise is legitimate and beautiful but worth significantly less, and it should always be disclosed. Enhanced, reconstituted, and simulated turquoise exist across the market with little to no regulation. And the questions you ask before you buy are your best protection. At Turquoise Traders Direct, we are a working turquoise and jewelry business that believes education and trust go hand in hand. Every piece in our store is accurately described: natural, stabilized, the mine it came from, the artist who made it. We carry authentic Native American sterling silver jewelry by Navajo, Zuni, and Santo Domingo artists who have been working in this tradition for generations. If you want to shop with confidence, the link is below. If you learned something today, and I hope you did, hit subscribe because we put out new videos about turquoise mines, gemstone history, and how to buy smart every week. Drop your questions in the comments. We read everyone. Now you know what most people don't. Use it well.